Imagine the world's deadliest playground, a frozen maze of towering ice blocks, cracking and shifting like a giant beast waking up. One wrong step, and it swallows you whole. That's the Khumbu Icefall on Mount Everest, a place where dreams of summiting the planet's highest peak turn into nightmares. In 2012, during one of his many expeditions, Phurba Tashi Sherpa found himself right in the heart of that beast as it roared to life. Buried under tons of ice and snow, with the cold gripping his bones and hope fading fast, Phurba fought not just for his life, but for the legacy of every Sherpa who calls these mountains home. This is the story of how one man stared down death in the ice and won. Phurba Tashi Sherpa was born on May 24, 1971, in the tiny village of Khumbu, Nepal, just a short trek from Everest Base Camp. Nestled in the shadow of the Himalayas, Khumbu is a place where the air is thin, the winters are brutal, and climbing isn't a hobby, it's a way of life. Phurba grew up in a family of mountaineers. His father worked as a cook boy on expeditions, hauling gear and preparing meals for foreign climbers chasing glory on the peaks. From a young age, Phurba watched his dad and uncles disappear into the mountains, returning with stories of triumph and tragedy. It wasn't long before he followed in their footsteps. Starting out as a cook boy himself, Phurba caught the eye of Russell Bryce, a veteran New Zealand mountaineer who runs Himalayan Experience, Himex, one of the top guiding companies on Everest. Bryce saw potential in the young Sherpa and trained him to become a guide. Phurba's strength, smarts, and calm under pressure made him a star. By the early 2000s, he was summiting 8,000-meter peaks like they were neighborhood hills. He climbed Cho Oyu 6 times, Manaslu 8 times, and even tagged Shishapangma and Lhotse once each. But Everest? That's where he became a legend. Phurba summited Everest a whopping 21 times, tying the record held by Appa Sherpa until others broke it later. His most epic feat came in 2007 when he reached the top 3 times in one season, a grind that would break most people. He wasn't just a climber, he was a rescuer too. In 2006, during a Discovery Channel filming for Everest, Beyond the Limit, Phurba carried double amputee climber Mark Inglis down part of the mountain on his back after Inglis collapsed from exhaustion. Acts like that earned him respect worldwide, but they also highlighted the risks Sherpas take. While tourists pay big bucks for the thrill, Sherpas like Phurba do the heavy lifting, fixing ropes, carrying loads, and crossing the deadly Khumbu Icefall dozens of times per season. The Khumbu Icefall is the gateway to Everest's upper slopes, a chaotic river of ice that moves up to 6 feet a day, cracking into crevasses and seracs. Massive ice towers that can topple without warning. It's the most dangerous part of the climb, responsible for more deaths than any other section. Avalanches and collapses are common, triggered by earthquakes, warming temperatures, or just the ice's natural shift. In 2014, a massive avalanche killed 16 Sherpas, the deadliest day on the mountain. Phurba was set to attempt his 22nd summit that year as Himex's Serdar, head Sherpa, but the tragedy shut down the season. He vowed to retire, but a 2015 earthquake destroyed his home, forcing him back to work. Still, his career was filled with close calls, none more harrowing than the 2012 Icefall collapse, a lesser-known incident during a Himex expedition when unstable weather made the icefall even riskier. Phurba and his team had pulled back earlier that season due to dangers, but on this push, fate tested him like never before. Facts paint a grim picture. Sherpas crossed the icefall up to 30 times per expedition, while clients might do it just twice. The odds of dying there are high. About 1 in 10 Everest deaths happen in the icefall. Climate change is making it worse, with faster melting ice leading to more collapses. Phurba's story isn't just about survival. It's about the unsung heroes who make Everest climbs possible. Now, let's dive into the heart-pounding incident that nearly ended it all. It was early May 2012, and the Everest season was in full swing. Phurba Tashi, then 41 and already a veteran with over a dozen summits under his belt, led a team of Sherpas for Himex. The group included experienced climbers from around the world, all dreaming of standing on the roof of the world. Base camp buzzed with excitement. Tents dotted the rocky moraine, prayer flags fluttered in the wind, and the smell of yak dung fires mixed with the crisp mountain air. But Phurba felt uneasy. The weather had been weird that year, warmer than usual, with heavy snowfalls followed by thaws that weakened the ice. "Russell, the icefall looks bad," Phurba said to his boss over tea one morning. Bryce nodded. They'd already delayed one push because Seracs were groaning like angry gods. But clients were impatient, and the summit window was closing. They decided to go. Phurba gathered his Sherpas, strong men from villages like his, many with families counting on their paychecks. Stay clipped in, move fast, listen to the mountain, he told them. They set out at 2 a.m., headlamps cutting through the dark like fireflies. The icefall loomed ahead, a labyrinth of blue-white towers rising 2,000 feet from base camp to Camp 1. Ladders bridged yawning crevasses, some 100 feet deep. Phurba led the way, his crampons crunching into the snow. He'd crossed this beast hundreds of times, but each trip felt like Russian roulette. The air was freezing, minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and every breath burned his lungs. As they climbed, the ice creaked, popcorn-like sounds that meant movement below. Phurba's heart raced. Halfway up, near the football field, a flat spot amid the chaos, a low rumble echoed. Snow dust fell from above. "Hurry," he shouted. The team picked up pace, but Phurba knew trouble was brewing. Little did he know, a massive serac was about to give way, turning their path into a death trap. They were navigating a tricky section called the Popcorn Field, where ice chunks looked like giant kernels ready to burst. Phurba was in front, fixing a rope when a mountain spoke. It started as a crack, sharp like gunfire, then built to a thunderous roar. Up above, a serac the size of a house fractured and plummeted. "Avalanche," someone yelled. Phurba spun around, seeing a wall of white hurtling down. Time slowed. Snow and ice exploded everywhere, slamming into the team like a freight train. Phurba dove behind a small ice block, clipping his harness tighter to the fixed line. The force hit him hard, burying him under feet of debris. His world went dark and silent, except for the muffled groans of settling snow. He couldn't move. The weight pressed on his chest, making breathing a fight. Panic clawed at him. Thoughts of his wife Pong and their kids back in Kumjung flashed through his mind. Not like this, he thought. Not after all these years. Nearby, screams pierced the chaos. One Sherpa, his friend Dorji, was swept into a crevasse, vanishing in the whiteout. Phurba's radio crackled with frantic calls from base camp. "Phurba, report." But he couldn't reach it. His arms were pinned. The cold seeped in, numbing his fingers. Hypothermia was setting in fast. He wiggled his toes to keep blood flowing, reciting Buddhist prayers under his breath. Minutes felt like hours. Was this the end? The suspense built as he wondered if rescuers could even find him in this frozen grave. Deep under the snow, Phurba's survival instincts kicked in. He was no stranger to danger. He'd once guided a team through a whiteout on Manaslu, saving lives with his knowledge of the terrain. Now, it was his turn to save himself. He created a small air pocket by cupping his hands near his face, buying time. "Breathe slow," he told himself. The pressure was crushing, but he focused on small movements, shifting his shoulder, freeing one arm inch by inch. Above, the team scrambled. Russell Bryce mobilized a rescue from base camp, sending helicopters and more Sherpas. But the icefall was unstable. Another collapse could kill them all. Phurba heard faint digging sounds, shovels scraping ice. Hope flickered. He yelled, but his voice was weak, swallowed by the snow. His body temperature dropped. Visions of his childhood in Kumjung danced in his mind. The warm hearth, his father's stories of Tenzing Norgay, the first Sherpa to summit Everest with Edmund Hillary in 1953. Suddenly, a probe poked his leg. "Here!" voices shouted. Digging intensified. Phurba pushed upward, his free hand breaking the surface. Fresh air rushed in, his hands pulled him out. He gasped, coughing up snow.
Brothers.
Bruised and frostbitten, but alive. Dorji wasn't so lucky. His body was recovered later. The team hugged Phurba, tears freezing on their cheeks. But the struggle wasn't over. They had to get back down through the still shaking icefall. With Phurba freed, the real test began, descending the icefall before another avalanche hit. His legs shook from exhaustion, and pain shot through his ribs, likely cracked from the impact. The group roped together, moving like ghosts in the dawnlight. Every step was tense. Ladders swayed over abysses, and fresh cracks spiderwebbed the ice. Phurba, despite his injuries, took charge. One at a time, no rushing, he commanded. Halfway down, the mountain rumbled again. Small slides pelted them with ice shards. One client slipped, dangling over a crevasse. Phurba anchored the rope, hauling him up with raw strength. His mind raced. We survived together or not at all. Dehydration set in. Their water bottles were frozen solid. Phurba shared his last energy gel, keeping morale up with jokes about yak stew waiting at camp.
Let's move out.
As they neared base camp,
Copy
a
that.
chopper
Moving.
buzzed overhead, dropping supplies. Medics rushed Phurba to a tent, treating his frostbite and bruises. He refused evacuation, insisting on staying with his team. That night, around the fire, stories flowed. Phurba reflected on the risks. Sherpas earn about $5,000 a season, peanuts compared to the $50,000 clients pay. Yet, it's their livelihood. The incident canceled the expedition. Bryce deemed it too dangerous, a decision Phurba supported. Back in Kumjung after the ordeal, Phurba healed with family by his side. His survival made headlines, but he shrugged it off. The mountain decides, he said in interviews. He returned to Everest the next year, summiting his 21st time in 2013, proving his resilience. But the 2014 avalanche, killing 16 fellow Sherpas, hit hard. As Serdar, he grieved deeply. Featured in the documentary Sherpa that exposed the inequalities in mountaineering. Phurba retired briefly, but the 2015 earthquake forced him back. Rebuilding homes isn't cheap. Today, at 54, he's a mentor, teaching young Sherpas safety and respect for the peaks. His story inspires. From cook boy to record holder, surviving the icefall's wrath through grit and wisdom. The 2012 collapse reminded everyone of Everest perils. Climate change worsens them, with more unstable ice. Sherpas push for better insurance and fair pay, and Phurba's voice leads the charge. In the end, his survival wasn't luck. It was the spirit of a man forged in the Himalayas, proving that even when the ice falls, heroes rise. If this tale of groundbreaking courage, relentless pursuit, and haunting mystery moved you, push share, like button, subscribe for more true survival and adventure stories, and comment below. Would you push for one more summit if it meant risking everything? Let's discuss.